And so I have read so many books over the year, and specifically books about self-development, because self-development is, to me, the most meaningful thing that we can focus on, because it is literally making us better and opening us up to more possibility, more happiness, more success. Hi friends, welcome back. Today we are going to talk about the 5 books that you need to read to program yourself for success. So this is such a great topic, and I'm such a lover of books because there is so much wisdom out there that we can literally have at our fingertips when we so choose to just open ourselves to it. And so I have read so many books over the year, and specifically books about self-development, because self-development is, to me, the most meaningful thing that we can focus on, because it is literally making us better and opening us up to more possibility, more happiness, more success. So this is my short list of really 5 books that you must read if you want to program yourself for a higher level of success. So the first book is called The Big Leap, A Guide to Transcending Personal Limits, Overcoming Fears, and Unleashing Your Authentic Greatness for a Better Life. And this is by Gay Hendricks. And so the title says it all, right? Like taking this big leap. And when you look at the cover of the book, there's this little goldfish, and he's jumping out of this tiny little bowl that he's in into the unknown. And so, the subtitle of it, this is a guide to transcend your personal limits. If you really just take that in, what that's saying is that we all have these personal limits, like that. This ceiling that we've put on ourselves in so many different areas and aspects of our life. And so in this book, Hendricks is helping you to transcend these set personal limits, which involves overcoming fear, right? Because what keeps us stuck with these limits is fear. And then to unleash your authentic greatness for a better life. And this is our radiance, right? This authentic greatness that we feel at our core, that we know there's more of it to uncover, right? We need access to it. And this book by Gay Hendricks is really about increasing your tolerance for more success and bliss, and in the way that I interpret it, more access to your natural radiance. And it might sound funny to be like, wait, tolerance? Usually we have to build a tolerance for something that's like bad or uncomfortable. But if you think about it, we're at the current level of happiness that we're comfortable with, that we can tolerate. And so I love this book. It's actually a pretty short, easy read. And it really sets the stage for really pushing past your self-imposed limits and your self-beliefs that you currently might not be really aware of. And I think that's what Hendricks does so well, is to really shine a light on the fact that the life you have today, the happiness that you have today, the success that you have today is 100% a result of your current self-beliefs, your current self-imposed limitations. And that the first step is really making the shift in our mind to even open ourselves to the idea that there's a bigger pond out there. And it can be so comfortable to be in that little goldfish bowl where everything is the way we're used to. But to take this big leap out into more, right? So this is a fantastic book to start with, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. All right, the second book that you need to really program yourself for success is The Miracle Morning. The not so obvious secret guaranteed to transform your life before 8 a.m. And this is by Elrod. And so Hal came up with a really incredible habit to have every single morning, and he created a really cool acronym to go with it, which is SAVERS. And what he teaches is, hey, I've studied the most high performers in the world, people who have accomplished the most, who have had the most success and happiness, and I've looked for commonalities. What are the habits that they have? And he compiled them. There's 6 of them. And then he said, hey, instead of doing 1 or 2 of these, I'm going to do all 6, and I'm going to do them every single day. But then he added the little caveat that he's only going to make sure that he does it for 5 to 10 minutes. So this makes it manageable, and it can be something that can be done within an hour. And so these 6 habits, the first one is silence, which is meditation. So spending 5 to 10 minutes in the morning to really go into a meditative state where we really calm the noise, calm the chaos of our mind, and really find this inner peace. The second is affirmations. And we know there's so much power in our words and in our thoughts. And so 5 or 10 minutes every morning, giving yourself positive affirmations that are based in truth. We don't lie to ourselves, but we do give ourselves affirmations that are pushing us towards the growth that we want. The third 5 to 10 minute activity is visualizing. And so I love to talk about this because this has been a huge part of my success and my ability to grow, is using the theater of the mind and really visualizing the next success that you are working towards. Visualizing yourself achieving that, visualizing the next thing, right? And so that is the third habit. The fourth is exercise. And really, exercise can be so intimidating, especially if we're not doing it. But when we think like 5 or 10 minutes of exercise, that's not that bad, right? I feel like anyone can really focus on their physical fitness for 5 or 10 minutes every day. And then we have reading. So 5 to 10 minutes of reading every morning. And this should be a nonfiction book that really is helping you in your current trajectory in life. And then the final one is scribing, which is really journaling. So spending 5 or 10 minutes to get your thoughts out of your head onto paper or into your device so that you can then reflect on them. And so this book, The Miracle Morning by Elrod, really teaches you how to put a very structured 60 minutes together in your morning to really get momentum started and to give you this structure and this discipline that you lean into every single day. So you have this consistency, and it creates this incredible rhythm in your life that can do amazing things for you. So that was the second book, The Miracle Morning by Elrod. The third book is Outwitting the Devil, The Secrets to Freedom and Success by Napoleon Hill. Now, this book was written in 1938, but it was not published until 2011. So this book was kept under wraps for 73 years because Napoleon Hill's family was so concerned with any kind of backlash that might happen based on his words in this book. So that just goes to show you how really controversial and cutting edge a lot of his ideas were back in the 1930s. This guy had such insight. And so in the book, Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill really talks about how fear, procrastination, anger, and jealousy can really keep us from achieving our personal goals. So you can kind of see a theme already in a lot of these books that I'm recommending. is how do we identify what's holding us back, what's covering up our radiance, right? What's keeping this limit above us? How do we see it and identify it? And a lot of these authors have spent so much time figuring that out and articulating, getting these different ways for us to notice our limitations and see where they came from so that we can, look under the bed, see the monster, and then escort him out, right? And allow ourselves to live in a different way. And so a big piece of Napoleon Hill's book, Outwitting the Devil, is really about kind of breaking the chains of different institutions that are utilizing fear on the masses to really keep us small and to just keep these limitations on us. In addition, he talks about addiction, and he really talks about like the habit of smoking and how being addicted to nicotine is like the first step in this like little avalanche of getting yourself to a place where you are just disconnected from your radiance and you really have these limitations that are on you that just get heavier and heavier and hold you down. In Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill really talks about taking responsibility for our habits. Like he really doesn't hold back on letting us know that we're making choices every day. And there's this part of it where he says the hypnotic rhythm. So essentially, like when we do something and then we do it again and we do it again, gets to a certain point where this rhythm takes over and now we're not really making a conscious choice anymore. We've kind of been swept into this current of this action. And this is one of those things that can kind of pile multiple bad habits on top of one another to get us in a place where we really do feel very stuck. And so he's just very honest about it. He talks about the law of attraction and how when we have thoughts in our head, it will become concrete in our life. And how, there's so much power in our thoughts. And so this, again, there's a lot of themes that are coming up throughout multiple of these titles that are all designed to help you really move past your limitations, right? And really have a big leap and really break out of really where we're trapped and where we're stuck. Another thing that Napoleon Hill talks about in Outwitting the Devil is this idea of drifting. And so we have drifting, which is just sort of going along and not really making decisions and letting life kind of just push us here and there. And then there's this other concept of definiteness of purpose. So of knowing what we want, of coming up with the ideas in our head and fixating on that and having almost like this direction that guides us, which is very different than this idea of just like drifting along, right? And so these two approaches to life being almost just pushed by the current, drifting, versus having definiteness of purpose and having a clear goal today, on this day, having a specific goal, knowing that tomorrow it's going to be a different goal, and having a goal that shifts and changes, but it's a direction, and following that direction and those goals that shift and change and grow from within you as a way of life versus letting life just move you. And so this is a big theme that comes up, this theme of really being intentional. So Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, a must read when you really want to program yourself for success. The fourth book to program yourself for success is Psycho-Cybernetics. This is by Maxwell Maltz. And Psycho-Cybernetics, tap into the power of your subconscious mind to improve your self-image and set out to achieve your goals. So Maxwell Maltz really was the creator of self-image psychology, and he was a plastic surgeon, and so he would help people achieve whatever physical appearance they wanted, but in some of them, he would notice that their self-image really didn't change. And even when their physical features had changed to a standard of beauty, when they looked in the mirror, they still saw the same flaws. And he started to realize that there's something else happening. He was starting to identify this idea of a self-image and really how we think of ourselves, and this being the ultimate limiter. So in Psycho-Cybernetics, Maxwell Maltz really teaches us about self-image, what it is, and then how we can shape it, how we can shift it and grow it and change it from what it is today. And then he also really builds a case for how our self-image really determines everything about our life and our abilities, our success and our happiness. It is all based on our current self-image. And so then he goes about teaching us how to shift and expand and change our self-image. And so Maxwell Maltz actually coined the term theater of the mind, and it comes from this book, Psycho-Cybernetics, where the whole message of that movie, The Secret, back in the day, where it's like, hey, if you can manifest something, you can focus on it, create a vision board. And so he was kind of the originator of finding that, like, wow, there's power in rehearsing things in your mind. Like, there's power in that idea of like future daydreaming. And he was able to really look at what's happening in the brain to make this such a powerful part of what it means to be successful. Okay, the fifth book that I believe is super important if you want to program yourself for success, and this is a bit of a departure from all the other books we've talked about, and that is The Obesity Code, Unlocking the Secrets of Weight Loss by Dr. Jason Fung. Now, the reason that I think it is so important to read and understand the science and the concepts within the book, The Obesity Code, is because the physical health of our body has such a big impact on our mental, emotional state. The mind-body connection is very real. And so when we can understand how to be healthy, when we can understand about our body chemistry and our hormones, and we can really get off that hamster wheel of weight gain, weight loss, counting calories, all of that confusion that's really so rampant today for so many of us. And we can just learn, oh, this is how my body works with insulin, and really understand the science of weight gain and insulin resistance. And so while this might not sound like a self-improvement book, it absolutely is. Because when we can live in a way that gives us good health and helps us to have good body chemistry, it has a direct impact on our mental and emotional health as well. So in the Obesity Code, Dr. Jason Fung really teaches us the importance of intermittent fasting and teaches us really how to harness the power of utilizing fasting in a way that can really positively impact our body chemistry and really get us off that hamster wheel of weight gain, weight loss, which is great for our confidence and self-esteem and just how we feel in our body. And so this is straight from the book, The Obesity Code, but Jason Fung teaches us that there are 5 basic steps to weight loss. And those are 1, to reduce your consumption of added sugars, which is something we talk about a lot on this show. 2 is to reduce your consumption of refined grains. 3 is to moderate your protein intake. 4 is to increase your consumption of natural fats. And then 5 is to increase your consumption of fiber and vinegar. And so taking those along with implementing a style of intermittent fasting can really transform your body and your health. Because when we're moving our body chemistry to a place where it's healthier, we're more sensitive to insulin. This impacts our health in a huge way. And so having better health, feeling better in our body is going to help propel us towards a life of happiness and success. I hope that you enjoyed this and will read all 5 of these books. Thank you for watching. If you would like and subscribe, I would appreciate that. And I will be back next week with more content.